As a reminder, click on the area that your school is associated with. Click on your school's name. Now, each time only click once. If you double click, it cancels your choice out. After I've clicked my school's name, I'll see my name and a list of teachers that is displayed in alphabetical order by last name, and this is a list of teachers in which there are classes associated with them in PowerSchool. Here in the right data pane, I have some summary roll-up data. For example, for this 8th grade class we're looking at, there are 20 students on which we have data in literacy, as well as math, behavior, and attendance. If it was a high school class, we might have some graduation data. Of those 20 students, 75% are responding to core instruction in literacy, as evidenced by the early warning indicators. 25% are responding in math, 95% in behavior, and 95% in attendance. Generally speaking, when we see data on this right pane, we can sort by clicking headers. I can also, if my prioritize button is on, move classes closer together to the top in case I want to compare them. But for now, let's go in and look further at an actual class. Click on the class you want to see, just click once. Now the class displays. There's a lot of data to look at. You'll see we have student information and we have the general areas of need. Once again, I can sort by clicking the header of a column. So if I want to look in alphabetical order. If I click on an arrow that expands and shows additional information or data, for example, demographic information, as well as indicators if there is a plan in place. Now, what type of plan? It could be an LEP, a 504, or an IEP plan. I can sort each of these subcolumns as well, and if there's data I want to pull out and look at, I can pin that data. And I can look and see how they are doing with regards to their early warning indicators. If I want to clear that pin, I just click it out, come back here and sort. I can look by how students are doing in literacy, math, behavior, attendance, and so forth. If I want to look deeper at literacy data, I'm going to hit the expansion arrow. Depending on the time of year, there may be a lot of data. I can scroll over two ways, down here at the bottom. I can also, and I'm going to take off the prioritize button to do this, I can click in a row and use the arrows on my keyboard to navigate back over. If there's just too much information for my eyes to process, I can unclick details, and then when I want to see information, I can simply click and it will show. In this case, I'm going to go back over. I am going to pin the most recent English Language Arts grade that's showing in the system, and I'm going to sort by that. I can take that out. I can also do similar things with the math expansion data. Behavior, if I want to see who has the most incidents this year, I can pull that back out, and now I can say, hey, is anything happening with a student in behavior that is perhaps impacting academic performance? I can also do very similarly with attendance. If I want to compare some students, I can prioritize them together. can send them back. When the symbol is not solid, that indicates a plan is in place. Question mark means there's not enough data to evaluate if the student's making progress. The X means the student is not making progress. And the check mark means student is making progress. Now I can prioritize these students together, but whenever I create a plan, any student who's on the same plan would be grouped down here together. For your reference, on the page there is a very detailed key that explains what each symbol means, and the more you use the system, the more second nature this will become for you. Also, each student, if you click here on the little drop down arrow, that brings up a student menu. I can have access to a student's grades. I can return back to MTSS Explorer. I can see a student's profile information. I can see if any documents have been created. This will include historical documents. And I can also add a student to a group if one already exists. So lots of information, lots of data, and lots of different ways of sorting and viewing it.